Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We talk at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the Path of Night.
Last time on Path of Night, the Coterie talked over what they've been through while apart. After some conflict, they rallied, just as Ira returns to the group. There is a knock at the door.
Ira is standing there holding like 2 cartons of Morley's. I figured it was polite to just knock instead of coming in.
Yeah. Also, apparently Miles doesn't believe in security and doesn't have a peephole, so she opens the door.
Why the hell does he not?
Something about computers.
I don't need one.
Computers? Okay.
Hearing all this, Britta goes into the kitchen to try to wash the blood off her face.
Wynn kind of steps out of the way and motions for him to come in.
Ira walks in and just comes into the lounge. And as he does, he tosses a carton of Morley's towards Johnny.
Johnny catches the carton, smiles a big grin, and takes the cigar that he was nursing and puts it out in an ashtray nearby.
Courtesy of Clan Tremere.
We're almost becoming friends, Ira. You better be careful.
He does not smile, opens the other carton, pulls a single pack out, and then tosses the second carton to Johnny and says, "And this one's from me."
Johnny catches the second carton, kind of looks at the first one, and goes, "All right, fine. You can have the Tremere ones back then," and hands the first carton back to him.
Ira puts a hand up and just shrugs and goes, "Keep it for the house then."
I was telling Miles that I need to just keep the house stocked. I'll go over and put him in a drawer.
He reaches a hand slowly inside his coat and then pulls out a small book for Wynn, or like a small book, and then hands it sort of towards Wynn. Stopped at a used bookstore while I was out. Sheriff, you and I didn't always completely see eye to eye, but I thought this might be a mending of bridges a bit.
Wynn kind of reaches out and takes the book a little, what do now? This does not compute, but I thank you.
The book is a history of Thales of Miletus. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the first Greek philosopher who pontificated about science and electricity and electrochemistry. Just truly some academic nerd shit of like, I know you like philosophy, so I got you an electricity philosophy book.
Well, no one will ever say you don't have a sense of humor. And she kind of like perches on the back of the couch, and
Ira goes and sits down in like one of the chairs. There's like a lot of chairs and couches around this area, right? For,
yeah,
like,
in the
general
living
seating.
room den-ish area.
Britta comes back in, pressing a hand towel to her face to dry it off, and finds a chair to curl up into.
Sorry if I'm interrupting the conversation. I'm sure everyone has a lot to talk about. The girl, where is she right now?
Sleeping.
Okay, good. She's probably tired, I assume.
and full of pizza.
Funny enough, we were actually just starting to talk about Clan Tremere.
Why'd you say courtesy of?
What, the cigarettes?
It's like a shy nod.
Well, technically, all of my money comes from Clan Tremere. So, if I bought them, Clan Tremere bought them.
Does that mean you stole the other pack?
I was hoping there would be sort of a philosophical demarcation, the gesture.
I picked up on it.
Thank you.
Johnny tears open one of the packs, pulls out a cigarette, and lights it up.
As soon as Johnny lights up a cigarette and says it's okay to smoke in this space, Ira opens the one pack that he pulled out of the carton and also lights a cigarette.
Well, regardless of who it's from, still smokes like a Morley.
Good.
Wynn starts flipping through the book, just kind of
So,
getting a little intoxicated by the smell of an old book.
what were we talking about?
Clan Tremere, actually.
Yes, that sort of the prompt of in what manner and capacity. If I can answer questions, I will.
I think we were talking about how much we can trust Reese, and for that matter, how much we can trust you. You seem to be on the level for the most part, but the timing of you entering the city's got everyone a little spooked, I think.
Understandable.
You want to answer to any of that?
As far as the timing is concerned, I can't say much in my own defense. How does one defend against coincidence? I will say that I was glad that I was here. And he pauses and he looks thoughtful for a little bit. I understand that I may have earned some trust, but not a great deal. I have perhaps a way to assuage you that the things that I say are true, but paradoxically, it is a ritual that I would perform. So you would have to inherently trust that I had performed the ritual and it did what it said. Unless, Sheriff, you're a learned individual.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of the Bone of Lies?
Yep.
I have 2. I usually use them for interrogations.
Britta gives a bit of a wide-eyed look at that admission, kind of like peeks over at Miles.
I mean, it's a legit way to verify he's telling the truth.
Admittedly, I only have a couple, and if I could be so bold, I have a few questions as to the trustworthiness of some of you in this room as well. I understand I'm the outsider here, but... And his eyes specifically look at Britta.
Who is wiping the look of concern off her face very slowly after Miles seems casual.
And then he also actually looks at Miles before kind of settling back into a neutral gaze. I'd be happy to engage in a bit of quid pro quo. You have me at a disadvantage, though, so if that's not how you want this to go, it's not how it would go. I leave that in your hands. Your grace, this is your domain and your haven.
Remind me, the bone doesn't compel you to tell the truth?
If you lie, the bone will compel the truth.
But what if you say I'm not answering that?
Then I suppose that's not a lie. For a proper interrogation, usually the powers of auspex and sometimes dominate are used in conjunction. In full honesty, I won't do either of those. I am trying to act in a spirit of trust here. We can also just have a conversation, but again, I'm trying to show that I am somewhat trustworthy.
I'm interested to hear what exactly you mean by quid pro quo with these bones.
I would hold it. You could ask me a question. I would be compelled to tell the truth, or at least that I could not tell you. Then I pass the bone to one of you to whom I have a question. I'll even, if you want, tell you the first question that I would ask. Again, I'm trying to be on the level, so to speak.
Wynn kind of gives Miles a look and shrugs. It's up to you.
I'm okay with it if you guys think it's okay.
I think the fact that we can say I'm not talking about that.
There's no compulsion to hold the bone. Just drop it.
Yeah, just give me one of your bones and ask me one of your questions.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah,
I was going
sure.
to offer to... Okay.
Calm yourself, Wynn.
It's just this book is so goddamn funny.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ira looks confused, like, hey, pick a funny book. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Talking about boning the prince.
And
yeah.
he sort of pats his jacket pockets down and then pulls out what looks like a human jawbone and passes it over to Miles.
Did you have to use human bits for this?
Kind of.
Oh. How morbid.
It does not have to be a jawbone, but ritualistically, I'm
fitting.
going off on a tangent.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Your Grace, my question for you is, can you think of a reason that you would share as to why your katana is tainted with demonic magics?
Wynn is desperately minding her own business, reading that book.
I didn't know it had an aura.
Ira, aware of sort of the generous nature of how he worded that, nods at like, okay, Miles gave me more of an answer there than he needed to, and nods. Well, it does. Anyone with any form of thaumaturgical sight would be able to tell just by looking at your sword that it has been touched by the demonic, so you may want to get rid of it.
Britta gives Ira a dubious look, and then Miles the same dubious look. She does not think this is likely.
This is not just a mall katana that I picked up casually.
I'm aware. I am familiar with the atomic structure of the blade. It's good steel. And it is also a beacon that you have been in contact with the unholy, which would be frowned upon should any archon or simply anyone who wishes to hold things over you. There are factions of the Camarilla who would use it as an excuse to snuff your life if they saw it.
I'm aware of such factions.
I just wanted to bring it to your attention so you can understand that a newly minted prince in possession of a demonically tainted blade could rouse some mistrust.
Can you get that enchantment off?
After a long pause of consideration, Ira just goes, there may be a way where you could keep it. Were you willing to let go of the enchantment?
Could you put a better one on it?
Not with any form of permanency.
Like, how long are we talking?
Hours.
I was hoping for a year.
Ira gets this...
The bone does not darken.
There's no way for literally anyone in the Coterie to know this, but Ira just immediately flashes back to every Tremere who studies alchemy bullying him for having, like, trash transmutation. It's just like, oh.
If you can help fix this problem, it would be appreciated.
Can do, Your Grace.
I put the bone down on a table.
Ira reaches for it and picks it up.
Jenny kind of smirks. Well, you don't want to hear questions from me first?
Ira puts it back down on the table. If you wish. I thought we were going back and forth, but...
Jenny picks up the little jawbone, kind of looks at it like it's a trinket. Shoot.
Honestly, Seneschal, I didn't have a lot of questions for you.
That's what I thought. He puts it back on the table.
Got him.
Yeah, Johnny, you and I aren't known for holding our tongues so well.
I'm gonna go get my katana while you guys formulate your thoughts.
Actually,
I'm gonna go walk away, basically.
Oh, you actually thought of something.
I did.
He picks the jawbone back up.
Just for my own edification, are you bound to Lord Reese?
Reese did wake me up with his blood.
Without using the path of blood?
He had the means to get me up clean, and he decided to give me a little blood. At the time, Prince Rollins thought that this was just peachy.
Ira nods.
Well, Mr. Reese was the seneschal at the time.
And I do recall that he used his powers on the Ventru. Puts the jawbone back down on the table.
Ira reaches forward again. So, do you have questions for me?
Yep.
Please, Sheriff.
When we were facing down the dragon, you looked scared. But there
I
was a
scared.
moment in the fight where you looked like you were 5 years old and you had just broken your mother's prized china dish. What's that about?
Ira, who was the one who offered this little game and was like, let's play this. Did not think that anyone caught that and is not happy about it. And that clearly flashes across his face. Lord Reese attempted to kill Eden in the chaos, and I intervened.
How?
There's a ritual, Chill of the Wind Saber. Once it is enacted, by breaking a pane of glass while looking at the target. And this takes some time to prepare. It is an elder-level ritual.
You said it would cut his head off.
It would decapitate the person it was targeted at.
It's time.
Have a +1 die bonus to your frenzy check.
Thank you.
Thank
Was it
Miles.
self-control?
Yep.
It is a single success.
With one success, you keep your beast in check. You can feel your anger, and you can feel this hungry animal kind of pacing inside of you side to side, waiting for the chance to kill.
Ira, who has 0 points in empathy, continues on, not quite noticing
That Britta's
that
staring
Britta's
daggers.
like murder staring at him.
Johnny, who is kind of smiling at the whole pageantry of this silly little jawbone event, has suddenly gotten very quiet and is staring at Britta, waiting to see if she's going to snap, and he has to intervene before she kills someone.
How did you stop it? How did you know it was going to happen?
Through thaumaturgical sight, I am trained to look at, call it the weave of magic. As an elder level ritual, there is no way to stop it.
He was gonna have me kill her.
But it didn't happen.
The amulet is not an elder level ritual. It was through the amulet that he was focusing on Eden. Most individuals, even most accomplished Tremere, would not have been able to do anything.
Why?
Because once magic is enacted, it is based on the will of the user. If the will of the user is successful, there is no stopping it. Unless you have the means.
And you have the means.
I do.
What are you actually doing here? In New Haven?
Could you please rephrase the question? What was I doing here, or what am I doing here?
First one, then the other. What were you doing here in New Haven?
Investigating Lord Reese.
Wynn, while you're flipping through the book, you stumble upon a loose piece of paper, a receipt with something scrawled on the back of it.
When curiosity kind of peaked at a random treasure in a used bookstore book, lays off Ira for a second and peeks at it.
The note says, in Ira's handwriting, "Stop me. Don't let me take her." In the lull, when she's not questioning, Ira puts the bone down on the table and looks at Britta. Maybe still not clocking that she's like caged violence.
She's certainly staring at you.
Either way, he kind of stares back in a didn't set the rules of this little engagement, but I have questions for the girl in the tack outfit who killed the Tremere.
I think about this time I come back with the katana.
Britta does slowly get up and pick up the bone.
Why is it seemingly way worse than when I left it?
I spoke.
What did you say?
Hurtful things, apparently.
Apparently
Pointed questions. I have a book you should read, Ira. I'll be right back.
Reese tried to kill Eden when we were fighting the dragon.
He cannot just stop, can he?
No, he can't.
Oh, God.
Apparently Ira has some little Tremere tricks up his sleeve that prevented him from doing so. Well, I'm not clear exactly how that happened.
Sounds like that'd piss him off right and good.
Only a select few are given the training to learn those tricks. The Tremere don't generally appreciate those not totally loyal to the clan who can counter what the clan can do.
My experience, Clan Tremere doesn't appreciate a whole lot.
Loyalty, dedication, focus, study. Well, might as well. I'm sorry, Miss Ashcroft. As much as I'm very curious to ask you a few questions, as a point of emphasis for what I'm about to say, could I... And he puts the hand out for the bone.
Britta does not hesitate in handing it back.
Ira holds the bone and kind of fingers the teeth inside the jaw, just sort of absent-mindedly. The Tremere appreciate loyalty. Much like the Ventru, who have a rigid hierarchy, who appreciate loyalty to the clan, the Tremere are much the same. The Tremere and the Ventru have long been allies. And Clan Tremere has built its political strength as a relatively young clan in the grand scheme on its thaumaturgical might. And there are tricks, one could say, almost an entire discipline to itself, to counter the ways of thaumaturgy, to stop magic, unweave it in its tracks. But Clan Tremere, obviously, keeps an extremely tight hold. If you're known to possess this ability, and are not one of what are known as the Asters, who are... And Ira gives like a nostalgic smile, almost. The boogeymen of Clan Tremere sometimes. The entirety of the clan will hunt you down. You will have made an enemy of all of Clan Tremere, and they will close ranks from all their petty squabbles. The same sort of thing happens when there are rogue thaumaturges about. Those who know the secrets of Clan Tremere, those who know how to perform thaumaturgy, particularly some of their more dangerous paths. And if you break from the clan, or if you are found to have been trading these secrets, if you do not show the loyalty to the Tremere that they appreciate, they will stop at nothing to hunt you down. And they will send men like me to find you and to stop you. And there is very little that anyone can do about it.
And at that moment, Wynn pops up from behind the couch with a broken off wooden chair leg in her hand and attempts to stake Ira.
Wynn, you've seized the edge and leaping over the couch. You're making your move. You have surprise. You will take an action. And then everyone is going to be rolling initiative. You do have an additional 2 die bonus for doing it from behind.
Okay. Wynn has pumped her stats to try and give the edge in this, because melee is not where she is strongest. But
absolutely. You have the ability to have taken time to prepare. As directed, Eden is hiding.
Does my swift spec count?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. 5 successes.
4 will carry over into damage dice. Stake deal plus 1 die damage. Now, before you move your dice, staking is diff 9. So
Then that is 4 successes.
Okay. 3 will carry over into damage dice. Stakes deal strength plus 1 die of damage. So you do have an additional die from that as well. Ira, roll soak.
Against staking, Ira currently has a 20 die soak pool.
I will be spending for potence for an additional level of damage.
I got rolled a bunch of 1s on the second half, so I got 5 successes.
So did I.
The impact of the stake is absorbed.
He has to take Eden, incapacitate.
When, as you drive the stake towards it, not only does it feel like Ira's shirt is buffed like he did for you guys in the Chantry, it's almost like his heart itself is made of stone.
And now we roll initiative.
Spending 2 blood for celerity, Britta is at a 12.
Miles.
Spending 2 blood for celerity, I will be at 19.
Did you roll for your katana? Because I very
Yes.
specifically mentioned it so you would go get it.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely quick draw that. So, like, essentially just shoot the sheath off and It's ready to go.
Wynn,
13.
Johnny,
1 blood for celerity, 15.
Ira.
Spending my readiness, 26.
Ira, we act first on you.
Ira will stand up from the couch as the sheriff attacks him from behind and out loud says, I knew I couldn't trust any of you. But on his face is very clearly a sort of look of relief and like, okay, thank God she understood me. But his words, it's like he's play acting at no one.
Just in case he's being watched, sort of thing.
Maybe. And then Lex, I will spend for dual thought. And then he looks at what to his estimate are the 2 most dangerous or like unknown factors in the room. He saw the seneschal whoop shit yesterday and specifically beat his ass, even by accident. And also looks at Britta, who he didn't see do a lot of shit, but was with a crowd of people killing a bunch of Tremere. And so she's an unknown factor. So throws a hand out at Johnny and will use transmutation to harden the air around himself or around him, and then reaches a hand into his coat, pulls out a rowan wood stake and rips a cord off of it and throws it at Britta. Like,
Is this your normal and dual thought?
yes. For the rest of the scene, Johnny, the air hardens around you like a force field. You cannot move past it, even with potence. You are trapped in place, and because I got 7 successes on it, it lasts for the rest of the scene. He throws the hand out and crystallizes the air around Johnny, sort of trapping him in place, and then throws the stake, not like he's throwing it like a knife, but like underhand tosses it towards Britta. And as he pulls the cord off, it sort of like splinters a little bit to turn into a little animate stake that launches itself at her chest.
Declaring dodge now.
Yep.
It's a lot of 8s, but it ain't a 9, so there are no successes on the attack roll as the little stake like splinters open and launches itself at your chest.
Britta's dodge action is successful.
But still spent, correct?
Still spent.
Yes.
However, as it misses, it does not seem to be done. It will still be coming at you.
Miles.
I will toss the sheath off of it and in a smooth motion go for an upward strike on him. Not quite understanding the situation, but watching Wynn attack, Miles is in.
I have no actions to dodge. I do not have celerity. Lex, as his sword comes at me, can I reflexively counter thumb to get that dark thumb off?
Yes, you may.
I don't want him running around with that. He's going to get in trouble.
You're rolling versus 1 success.
Then easily get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Ira, as the sword comes in, throws a hand up, not defensively, but pulls the magic off of it.
6 successes.
5 will carry over into damage.
My soak pool against not getting staked is not as good. 6 successes, though.
Man, your dice are on fire tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Big hands counts for this, right?
Big hands counts for this.
9.
I will take 3, and my shirt is cut in twain.
Hot. I'm sorry.
As Miles attacks him, Ira looks at him and just goes, I'm sorry about this, Your Grace, but the girl can't stay here. Either she comes with me, or more will come for her.
He's still kind of confused, really. Like
Ira looks extremely sad saying all this stuff, but like...
I understand that I need to be doing this, but also it is weird the amount of magic that he's throwing out to be taken down. So very confused by all of this.
Do you say anything?
He just kind of looks resolute at this point and just seeing if anybody else has more information to throw at this point. He's moving in to back up his team at this point and try to figure it out.
Understood. Johnny.
Johnny will let loose a roar from inside the prism that promises the threat of ridiculous violence upon your dumbass Tremere ass. If I can use that to bolster my team with perhaps some Ironheart.
You may spend a point of willpower and start tossing out Ironheart buffs.
Hell yeah.
I don't think Miles needs it as much as the other two. But you're also down on willpower, aren't you?
I am at half my normal willpower.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to spend 3 willpower. My last 3 willpower. I'm going to give each one of you guys a Ironheart bonus to resist mind-affecting thumb. I don't know that you have it, but...
There's
I'm
no
a
reason to
Tremere, I
think
got
he doesn't.
dominate.
Johnny, do you say anything?
No. Johnny just lets out the kind of like angry Johnny roar that the hairs on the back of everyone's neck stand on end. The Coterie knows that this is a promise of violence, and it is inspiring to hear that kind of battle cry. For Ira, it is perhaps chilling in a way that he has not experienced yet.
All right, next is Wynn on 13.
So Wynn, hearing Johnny's battle cry and knowing that he would be on this guy like flies on shit, Wynn decides to take the spirit of what Johnny is, and she just leaps at Ira and attempts to grapple him.
Dex plus Brawl. Let me know if you have any successes.
Short answer, yes.
He is grappled.
Wynn vaults off the back of the couch onto Ira and just wraps her arms and legs around him as tight as she can and attempts to take his legs out from under him, but at minimum she is attempting to hold on to him and keep him from being able to move.
Hot.
Hot. Thank you. That's what I was going for.
Miles, you're on Celerity 1, Initiative 19.
I'm going to move to the side and, like, stab him through horizontally and just be like, I really don't want to be doing this in my house. I just got here.
My apologies, Your Grace. This isn't what I wanted to be spending my evening doing either.
Yeah, I think we're all of one mind on that.
When? What the fuck?
He has to try and take Eden, incapacitate him.
I will not fail Clan Tremere and Lord Reese. And he puts particular emphasis on the word Lord.
I stab him harder. 9 successes.
To attack?
Yeah.
8 will carry over.
Yeah.
6.
I only got 1, so I have 1 health level remaining.
I move to the side and just a straight sideways stab right through the middle, trying to kind of keep out a direct eye line because I'm aware that that might be a problem, and I really don't know what your generation is, so I just know that you have similar powers to my own, and I've seen you shrug off the presence.
And chug an actual keg of blood.
Well, yeah, I figured that had some indicators.
There were enough signs to know that Ira at least has some blood fuckery.
Yeah, and just be like, I'm sorry it came to this.
Ira grunts, by the way, does not have the I do not feel pain power up. Like, did not have a chance to cast that. So grunts and looks extremely pained, and just through gritted teeth just says, I explained what happens to rogue thaumaturges with my particular skill set, and the Tremere will come for her. No, she is here. If she stays here, I have to take her.
Well, good thing we got to you first.
I shouldn't have trusted you. But Wynn, you can't see his eyes, so Britta and Johnny can see his eyes, probably. Right? I don't know how much empathy either one of you has or chooses to have in this moment, but his words say one thing and his eyes say something completely different.
Honestly, I'm looking at this steak. I'm not looking at you.
Neither one of you may notice. Johnny looks mad as hell.
Johnny's low on blood and low on willpower and is very angry.
And the other two are actively avoiding my eyes, so...
So his nuance of emotion and empathy is limited.
Hey, you got a wooden stake chasing me around. That's where my eyes are.
Speaking of, I think we're on Celerity Johnny.
Yes, we are, Johnny.
So Johnny understands that the write-up for this spell says indestructible and other dumb words, but he's going to use Strength Athletics to break the shit out of this prism.
What are you using?
Strength Athletics to break the hell out of this prism. And I'm going to spend a blood to have Potence add successes. 7 successes to break the shit out of this prism.
You press through this little liquid oxygen and feel the prism kind of like almost crack, but it doesn't move. It doesn't give. Britta.
The instinct arises to grab something to put the stake in, but then, Britta, the second thought is to grab the stake.
Give me Dex plus Brawl. You're at difficulty 9.
Does graceful apply?
Yes.
That is 3 successes.
You grasp the stake in your hand and you feel its splinters grasp at your thumb and resist to the best of its ability, but you currently have it held.
It's also warded versus kindred.
I have gloves on. I do not know if that affects
Gloves
the scenario.
will not stop it.
Got it.
It'll deal 3 levels of damage. I need you to roll soak.
2 successes.
You take 1 level of lethal damage. I need you to make a self-control check. Mm-hmm. It sizzles in your hand.
There is a cry of pain, and then her self-control is tested.
Are you spending a willpower?
No, I don't know how long this is going. 1 success.
Okay, you maintain control of your beast.
So there's a cry of pain, and then Britta reels herself back in, and she still seems confused, but her attention is fixated in that quickened state that celerity brings you towards the tussle on the ground.
Miles, do you still have actions? You got one more?
I have one more.
What are you doing?
Your Grace, all I have to do is bring the girl and make my report to the council to see the downfall of Lord Reese and my own promotion.
3 to hit.
2 will carry over into damage.
7 damage.
5 soaked, which is enough to fill in that last one and put Ira into torpor. He looks like he's going to say something else, partly play acting, partly pleading, and then the sword does what it does.
In torpor, his skin tightens and he goes very stiff, crumbling to the ground as this dehydrated corpse.
When he goes to torpor, Wynn carefully puts her feet down to make sure he doesn't go crashing to the ground and kind of gently lowers him to the ground.
When he hits torpor, does the effect on Johnny stop and does the stake stop?
No.
Would you like us to continue that in a round?
Yes.
Okay.
You are still in combat. You have only taken 1 celerity action, so it's still your go.
Okay. So with her last celerity action and holding this painful warded stake, I would like to break it. If I can feel that there's a life within it.
It is animated.
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny whether or not it has a life, but...
Yeah. If it seems to be
I don't know if there's going to be a morality roll or not.
as an animated unit rather than those splinters coming off as splinters.
Yep. Nope, it is very much
Cool.
an animated unit.
Then I will try to break it.
Imagine something that moves about as quick as a house cat, chasing you around, attempting to essentially kill you.
I'm just gonna...
Break it over your knee.
Sure, over the knee. Sounds perfectly fine.
Give me strength plus brawl.
I will spend a willpower.
Okay.
4 successes, including the willpower.
3 will carry over into damage. Now roll strength plus 3.
2.
It starts to develop cracks.
Britta cries out for help, saying, the stake is still trying to get me, and it hurts when I touch it, and I don't know what to do. And she's kind of just thwacking it against her knee.
Next round, Britta take 3 lethal. Roll soak.
That's a 1 and a 10. Does that cancel out to 0 or to 1?
Cancels out to 0.
Okay. So 3 lethal is taken on top of 1 lethal.
Miles.
I will attempt to cut the stake she said that is a danger.
Roll it, diff 9.
5 successes.
4 will carry over into damage.
8 damage.
With the stake goes still, and then half of it collapses to the ground.
Is the other half still fighting?
No.
Britta immediately drops the half when it goes still and inanimate. And she pulls her hand back close to herself, clearly hurting.
Johnny continues to try to break free from the prison. He will spend blood for potence. That's 9 successes to break free.
With 9 successes, you can feel fragments of this unbreakable barrier getting loose into the liquid oxygen that you're trapped in, but it holds.
Unfortunately, the Coterie sees something very bad happen within the prison. Johnny's eyes start to lose focus, and you can see him being gripped by hunger frenzy, because I am at 0 blood, and I am at 0 willpower. So, stuck within this prism is a very big Brujah problem.
still in rounds?
You are out of rounds for now.
Wynn recognizes she is still very much in fight or flight. She looks to Miles and Britta. Take Eden and go.
Okay.
And Wynn hefts Ira up on her shoulder and goes out the door.
You rush out the door. What are you doing with Ira?
I'm going to put him, I'm assuming there's a garage or something.
For Miles's cars, I gotta assume you got a big ass garage, my man.
You can't put him in there.
Is there a mechanic's shed?
There's a pool house.
All right, I'll put him in the pool. Yeah, that was mentioned.
That was mentioned.
I put Ira in the pool house.
Put him in my garage. That's where the important things go.
I lounge him comfortably on a pool house couch and just kind of look at him and say, message received. She has 1 blood left and 2 willpower, so she should not be around Eden right now. And so she just kind of leaves him.
I'm sorry, how much blood do you have?
1.
I'm going to need a self-control check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Remember that your self-control is capped at how much blood you have.
Alrighty.
Whichever is lower between the two is what
Hey
you
man,
roll.
you got any willpower in there?
Yeah.
What?
If your blood pool ends up lower than your self-control, you roll your blood pool.
So I'm going to spend a willpower.
Highly recommended.
1 success.
With 1 success, you manage to keep from doing something you may regret.
Well, to Ira.
Since it seems important to narrate, I have 4 blood and 1 willpower as I am running towards where I think the guest rooms are, since I think that is where Eden may be.
Give me a perception plus alertness. The difficulty of this challenge is 6.
Okay, that is reduced by, technically 4, but it goes down to 3 due to the minimum.
Yep.
So then there are 3 successes.
With 3 successes, you find Eden hidden, kind of like having slipped into Miles's room. And she is there, under the bed, kind of peeking out from behind the comforter that kind of is draped over the king-size bed.
Does the path out of Miles's room lead through the area that Johnny is in?
Yes.
Does Miles have a private bathroom?
Yes, he does.
So, Britta, generally in her experience of frenzying vampires, has seen line of sight to be relatively important. And silently, she, running full speed, kneels down, outstretches a hand to Eden, hoping she'll take it and come out.
I'm going to need a manipulation leadership roll.
Mm-hmm. I did not speak, so I don't think hey applies. And that is 2 successes.
With 2 successes, you convince her. And though she hesitates for a moment, she does take your hand.
Britta offers what she can of a comforting smile in that small moment of outstretching the hand towards her to pull her out and trying to lead her in as quick and as stealthy an exit to the bathroom as she can to find the 2 of them a new hiding spot.
You'll definitely notice that she looks like she has been crying. Her movements are very rigid. And every time she hears Johnny bellowing from his cage, she seems very shaken up by the wrathful Bruja. By the time she makes it to the bathroom with you, yeah, you can roll Dex plus stealth.
I figure I'll lock the door behind us and I'll narrate how well that hiding attempt happens after the roll.
Sure, go for it.
4 successes.
Okay, you do a very good job hiding.
So Britta makes sure, as I said, to lock that door behind the 2 of them, and she takes Eden over to Miles. What kind of shower do you have, and/or bathtub? Is there a curtain? It should be the question I'm asking.
Curtains.
Okay. So, in that case, what I'm going to do...
So the shower is separate from the bath in the fact that it is its own walked-off area, and it's kind of this combination of tile and naturalistic stone and extraordinarily fancy, 360
But
range.
there's no cover, is what you're saying.
I mean, there's a wall.
I'm spending this last
I can change the
willpower.
lighting, of course.
I'm not spacing out when I'm trying to save a kid's life.
There's a gigantic tub / hot tub deal in there, of course.
One of those big 90s whirlpool tubs.
Huge.
Yeah.
Difficulty
6.
9.
with the willpower 2 successes. So, spotting that this space is incredibly beautiful, unfortunately for Britta in this moment, she abandons what her previous thought was and instead drags is too harsh. She's trying to guide Eden as quickly as possible to, both of them are very small. They're going to fit inside the cabinets.
Understood.
If Eden seems okay with it, she's trying to pull Eden in for a hug.
Seems very cooperative.
So she'll pull her in for a hug when they're kind of like in the cabinets. That's probably necessary regardless, just for this cramped space, but she's trying to like instill some comfort in. Oh, and if I can, in this position, I'd like to cover Eden's ears.
Yeah, you can absolutely. We will cut to Wynn returning from the
Pool house
where she has stashed Ira.
She made sure his body was comfortable, but she also made pains to make sure he's not going to get accidentally zotted by sunlight.
Thank you.
Yep, happy to help.
I'm just standing there confused. Like, what the hell?
She puts herself in front of Johnny, where he is slavering in the cage, and she looks at him, ignoring everything else in the room. Johnny, I am here for you. I'm hungry too. As soon as this glass is gone, we're gonna go eat. But I need you to come back until then, okay? And she puts her hand up against the glass, and she will attempt to quell him.
Now, before you roll, regardless of what the outcome is, the prism is going away. So if you succeed, the prism is going away with Johnny feeling a little better and able to communicate like a person. If you do not succeed in the roll, you're the nearest meal. Go ahead and roll. No pressure.
Well, that's not great.
Oh no.
What you looking at, pal?
An 8 and 2 1s.
Oh no.
Have a request.
We're back in rounds,
hold on.
maintaining same initiative.
Wait a second.
Yep.
I have a request, and you can feel free to say no. But I have been, not Ira, but Neil, have been weak of nightmares, guilt showing up to talk to the Coterie and do shit. And I know I'm having a weird night right now elsewhere, but is it possible to adjust this outcome a little bit with a guilty empathy Neil? I don't know.
Give me a willpower roll, difficulty 9.
Oof. That 1 pulls away, then it cancels out the 9, leaving 1 10. So 1 success.
Mark this against your total number of opportunities there.
2 left.
And Wynn, his rage is too great, and he's been through just too much this past night. And at the worst time possible, there is a shimmer, and the container that holds Johnny at bay fades. And as Johnny is right about to lunge for you, the phone rings, and this startling ringing sound echoes and catches the two of you in just the most awkward time, and you both find yourselves quickly looking towards the phone.
Johnny, his hands outstretched with impossible speed and gripped Wynn by the shoulders, and he looks down at her as his teeth start to pull back. His eyes focus. Do you want to get that?
Why don't you take a walk?
I'll walk over and get the phone. Miles here.
Hey, Miles, this is your number, right? This is your new, is Wynn there? I promised Wynn that I was going to call, and it's been a couple of days, and
hold on one sec. You're on speaker.
Hey, Wynn? Is it? Are you?
Wynn's, for a minute, it looks like it doesn't matter to her that Johnny is about to rip her throat out. She's too relieved to hear that her emotional support Malk is okay.
Guys?
And her face just kind of relaxes and changes. Yeah, Neil, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I know I promised that I was going to call, but it's been kind of a crazy couple of days. And
hey, so we're a little tense right now, buddy. Do you think you could say some stuff that maybe could soothe the room a little bit? That you're okay and that we're all still together, maybe?
Oh wait, hold on. You want me to say that I'm okay?
You're talking, so you're okay enough.
Sure. Yeah, no, this definitely was not like a last call scenario. I'm totally fine. Everything's fine.
I will come to the phone in a second, okay? And
sure.
you can tell me what needs to be said.
No,
Please tell me we hear like the screams of frenzying Ravnos
I
in the
will
background
say,
at that point.
in the background, you hear, and they're just things chasing the car.
All right, unless Wynn understands how predators work, and so she doesn't, like, dart away from Johnny. She, like, gradually slides away while his attention is elsewhere, but she doesn't want to draw his attention. So she kind of slides closer to the phone.
Johnny lets her go and starts edging towards the front door.
Hey, yeah, no, I'm just calling because I wanted to let you know, because I did promise. I promised I was going to call, and it's been a little nuts, but I needed you to know that I didn't forget. I mean, okay, that's not true. I forgot for a couple of days, but I'm trying to come home, okay? That's all I wanted to call and say is I'm trying real hard to come home, everybody. I promise.
Well, I will be glad to have you, man. Things have been a little weird here, too.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
It's if you're coming back, that's enough.
Is Britta okay? Have you seen her?
Okay is a word, but
But you've seen her.
She's here. She's walking. She can talk. She's.
Oh, thank God.
We're
okay.
Neil. Right now, we're all functionally okay.
Okay, that's great to hear.
Johnny will open the front door and head out into the night.
Miles.
Yeah.
Johnny is going to frenzy and eat the first human he sees. He literally gets no roll.
I'm going to go, hold on a minute, Neil. Stop. I can get food without you going out.
Johnny, you are cognizant enough to hear that.
Now.
Wynn comes over to the phone and turns the speakerphone off. Okay, buddy, it's just you and me now. What do you need to say?
Nothing. It's been a hell of a everything. And I needed everybody to know, before I lose signal here or something bad happens. I'm sorry. Okay. And I love you guys. And I just needed to let you know that I actually am trying. Okay. I'm trying to get home.
Neil, I never doubted you were going to try and come home, you dipshit.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm trying my best, okay?
Okay.
And if
Well, we're trying our best to be here, okay? I think there's a lot to talk about, but
yeah, there is. Okay?
We're not going to talk about it over the phone, but we're okay. I assume I speak for everyone when I say we love you, but I at least speak for me when I say I love you, okay?
Okay. Last thing, because I don't think that there's someone in New Haven. If I don't make it back, okay, there's someone in New Haven who knows about... Is Miles the prince right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's someone... I don't want to give context or anything. Just tell Miles. There's someone in New Haven who knows about him.
And it cuts out.
Neil? Neil. And she, starts, pushing the, hey, connect back. And then after a minute of just trying, she kind of, reluctantly puts the phone down.
You hit star 69, but... it doesn't get you to him.
I start moving off. Come on. I think I should be able to let you feed without killing the person. But yeah, I have combat ghouls across the street. Most of my ghouls live nearby, but not on the property. So I will take you there and I'll let you be outside, and then I will bring them out to you, and we will do our damnedest not to kill this guy.
Barely contained restraint, Johnny kind of glassy-eyed follows you. It's like dealing with somebody who's kind of at the edge of some kind, not drunk, but
barely hanging on.
Yeah.
Wynn, with one blood in her, does she have enough blood in her system that she's not going to immediately feed and frenzy on the first person she sees?
How much blood do you have?
1.
No, being in the presence of someone is a frenzy stimulus for you. But you do get a roll.
Okay.
You're just rolling one die.
All right, so I'm going to leave the house, if I can.
Okay, where are you going?
Out the front door.
Are you going with Miles and Johnny, or are you going somewhere else?
She'll go out the back door if we're butted up against the woods. And Wynn will go out into the woods. So she will try not to kill the animals that she feeds on. Whether she remembers whether that was successful or not is unclear.
You call deer to you, and you feel the beast rise. I need a self-control roll. You have just a single die.
1 success.
With 1 success and feral whispers, you are able to speak to these deer. Do you have inoffensive to animals?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so they're not even so frightened of you. So just tell me how you want to handle it.
Wynn basically says, I do not want to betray your trust, but I need help, and I will be good to the herds of deer and your offspring for however long I am capable of doing so. But if you can help me now, I will see that trust returned.
They are drawn to your magnetism and don't seem to resist when you go to feed from them. And the only thing that is strange is the dozens of ravens gathered overhead in the branches, watching you.
When Wynn has taken enough, she looks up. She thanks the deer. She licks the wounds which is probably gross, they're covered in ticks. But she closes the wounds with a lick, and she looks to the ravens and just kind of cocks a head at them, as they don't usually watch when Raven's not around.
The ravens watch you with human intelligence.
Well, that's very weird. Would it be animal ken or empathy to attempt to discern the intent of these?
Normally it would be animal ken, but again, they watch you with human intelligence. Give me empathy.
Which trait in empathy?
Perception.
1 success.
With 1 success, you are confident these are not natural ravens. They are ravens, but these are not the ones that you normally would interact with. And when they have finished watching you feed, in a loud rush of flapping wings, they take off and fly away.
Wynn, with feral whispers, calls out to one of them to see if any of them will come back.
It doesn't understand.
Without feral whispers, she will call out for one of them to come back.
They do not obey.
Wynn makes a note of this. And Wynn's head becomes a little clearer, and she kind of closes her eyes for a minute, just kind of processing, and she sends Britta a text.
There is no reply if you send to Britta's cell phone.
If possible.
Or unless there is a reply I don't know about, because I cannot be in between everything that's happened. I don't have my cell phone.
Tell me what you sent.
I've fed, are you safe?
Yes, where are you?
I'll be back soon.
Okay.
Path of Night is a Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Venture was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was composed for Path of Night by Brian Matolius. Find him online at brianmatolius.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show on coffee.com/pathofnight. Find us on twitter.com/pathofnightpod, on facebook.com/pathofnightpodcasts, or email us at pathofnightpodcasts@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
Well, there you heard it, folks. He stabs him harder.
Hot.
Pierce me, Miles.
Pierce me, Daddy, with your big hands.
Pierce me, Your Grace.
This love triangle has gone horribly awry.
For who?
Johnny, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, it was hot.